Sterling has dubbed itself the finest city in the Commonwealth, and in order to live up to that standard, they're making some improvements to their housing stock. WKYT's Kelsey Soto is joining us in studio now to talk about a program geared toward getting rid of blighted properties.
Well, with the help of some initial grant funding to get that program rolling in 2019, the city now off to a strong start of gradually demolishing problem properties that have been thorns in the sides of first responders and city leaders.
They've just seen their better days.
Historic, but also hazardous. Some eyesore properties are plaguing Mount Sterling. About 18 homes have come down at the hands of the city. Another handful have been bought and rehabbed or knocked down by the owner voluntarily.
Paint.
Mayor Albatz tells me he's proud of the work that's being done to improve the quality and vibrancy of their community.
No child should ever grow up in a neighborhood and wonder why someone isn't doing something about the blighted, abandoned, and dilapidated properties that are in that neighborhood.
Earlier this year, this property in the 500 block of Scott Street was on the chopping block.
The house was boarded up, so it didn't look as bad as some others, but ultimately we wanted to get to this house as soon as we could, and this was the year, and it all finally worked out for us.
Now it's a flattened lot, ready to be sold or redeveloped. 6 homes within this city block have already been torn down in the last few years. Mayor Bott says it's reduced crime, increased property values, and made for a safer neighborhood.
Yeah, we're going to keep working at it, and we'll keep working toward a better tomorrow here in Mount Sterling.
Now, that legal process to tear down a property does take some time. Mayor Albatz tells me they've spent about an average of 10 months just going through the court system to make sure they've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, and they have made every effort to give those property owners a chance to care for the homes themselves.
Kelsey, thank you. And first responders are called out to abandoned homes more frequently for complaints about squatters, fires, and even illicit drug use.